Welcome back to the Atlas Masterclass. This week we're exploring Persian cuisine, and today we have a really beautiful dish. It's going to be a spiced lamb that we're going to bake in the oven, or roast in the oven I should say, with some potatoes. We're going to have some cumin salt on them and a beautiful salad of radish with cucumber and mint. So to get this dish started, what we're going to do is we're going to start by peeling our potatoes and chopping them, and then we're going to quickly boil those just for a couple of minutes to soften them, strain those off, rough them up around the edges, which will help them get really crispy, and then that will start the cooking process prior to us roasting it with the lamb. And then we're going to make our salad as well. So we're going to have some cucumber and radish, and then we've got some minced garlic as well, and some of the garlic will go in the salad and some will go inside our butter. So with these, I've just got getting rid of the peel, cutting into smaller pieces, not too fine, but just so they cook nicely, because we're going to keep in mind we're cooking a big piece of lamb, but the potatoes we want to be ready around the same time. So if you're cooking a bigger piece of lamb for 4 people, you might want to cut the potatoes slightly bigger as well, just to give them that extra time, but it should be around this size, should work quite well. And then just get the potatoes straight in this water. They'll need about a good 5 minutes or so just to soften those edges. And I'm going to put a big pinch of salt in there so it tastes of the sea. Really important when you're cooking with potato to season it all up really nicely. So next, we're going to get our cucumber, cut the end off, and our radish, cut the end off. And I've got a mandolin here, but if you want to just use a knife at home, just be super careful. We're just trying to cut it into rounds, and it's just easier using this. But if you can do it with a knife, just taking your time to get these nice even rounds, just so the salad presents really beautifully. If not as well, you could cut it in half so the cucumber's flat, and then cut it into semicircles, which will also look really, really nice. So that's our cucumber, and now our radish as well. And the radish, if you can, just a little bit thinner than the cucumber. So that there, it's all ready. And then next we'll get our garlic. Just peel that outside layer off. So using fresh garlic, of course, makes all the difference. And then grating it down on our microplane. If you don't have one of these, just squash the garlic down flat, and then you can use the back of a knife to almost massage it against the board, which will hopefully break it down into some nice fine sort of paste like that. But the other option is, of course, just chopping it until you get it really nice and fine. So that's our garlic there. So half of that will be used for our salad, or just a little bit under half, so on top of the cucumber. And then the rest we're going to put inside this butter. So for the butter, I've got some softened butter here, so just a small amount, doesn't need too much. Garlic inside, followed by our paprika, and also our coriander seed. Giving that a really good mix, so just softening it first. If you need to, microwave it or just warm it slightly to soften if you've just pulled it out of the fridge, or even the heat of your hands will help soften it. Just massaging that all in, and that we're going to spread on top of the lamb, and also the fat of the lamb, of course, is going to add some fat to this dish, and that's going to make it taste absolutely delicious. So the spices are really important in this cuisine, and we want to just showcase that off, and of course a bit of garlic to make it even more delicious. So there's our butter. So let's check back in. The potatoes will be strained. We'll put our lamb in like so. Butter on top, potatoes around it, get our salad ready, and we'll be ready to serve. So now I'm just going to mix the salad. So I just get the mint and I just chop it very roughly. Just any bits of stem, you can pick it beforehand. If you've got any stem left, just try and get rid of it. And then I'm going to mix this. So mint, radish, and cucumber, and you've got that garlic in there, so you want to give it a really good mix to make sure you get it all sort of nicely spread that garlic out. We'll put a pinch of salt on it as well, and then we can, if you have a spare lemon or you want to add some vinegar, you definitely could. But I do find that this dish has got plenty of flavour with everything else going on, so it's quite nice just to have the freshness of the cucumber and of course the radish and the mint. So I'll leave that there. And then the next step is with the cumin salt. It's just getting the cumin, mixing it with some salt. So maybe about 50-50. Massage that in together. And then that's going to be used to season the potatoes and the lamb as well before we cook. So once the potatoes are ready in about 1 or 2 minutes from now, strain those off and get them in the pan. So now I'm going to strain our potatoes. So I just pour them straight into the strainer, and I'm going to put them actually back in the pot. And what I like to do is pour a bit of oil on them now. Nice big pinch of salt. And I'm just going to sort of stir that, making sure the oil coats them. And I want you to sort of see this part. You want to see them actually semi-break up, and they'll get like almost a bit furry on the outside, if that's a weird way to describe it. But what it will do is that all that will get really, really crispy. And when we're cooking the lamb with the potatoes, they're going to be coated in the oil. This extra step makes all the difference to get that crispiness that you always hope for when you're eating potatoes. So that is the important step, an important tip or trick of the day to get that right. So it's all really nice, and that just looks absolutely beautiful. And now the next step is getting this butter and just going straight on top of the lamb. So to really massage it into the lamb, and obviously the potatoes will at some point be sitting in this butter, which just give plenty of flavour and colour to those too. And that's what I think this beautiful cuisine does well. You know, it's such heavy in spice, and you know, look at that, just, you know, that's going to come out of the oven just looking magical. So what I'll do now, I'm going to put it in the oven. So I'm going to slowly cook the lamb, and it really is about getting the potatoes crispy and just getting the lamb cooked to the right doneness. So I'm going to say this might take around 25 minutes, this certain piece, or 20 minutes even, because it's quite small with the potatoes already being par cooked. But if you want to cook it low and slow for a few hours, that's also a good idea. So you can maybe go up to even 4 hours to get the lamb really, really tender, and it will just pull apart. And that's also another item. So we'll have that more mentioned in our recipe card as well. And because I'm doing it for the video, I'm just going to cook it now for about 20 minutes, check it, and then we should be ready to serve. So now I'm going to get the lamb and potatoes out of the oven. So these have roasted up beautifully. We've got our really crispy potatoes. The lamb is ready to be carved and sliced. So just straight from the oven, just slicing it up to spread it out on the plate. So there we are, I'm going to present for one here. There we are, so beautiful fresh lamb, roasted potatoes inside that butter, of course. And then our salad on the side. So that there is our beautiful spiced lamb. Serve with our roasted potatoes, some cumin salt, and then we've also got a little radish, mint and cucumber salad.